not die. Fail. When I woke up the following morning, Sato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last. One that I would remember for the rest of my days. Did Zoro wake you up or something? Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. Sure. Where's your friend then? Sorry? You know her in the fancy dress? Susato or whatever you say it is. I don't know. Mr. Sato-san had to leave early this morning. So she was already gone by the time I woke up. You're right with that, aren't you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Misu Sato and I won't meet again one day. Even so, but you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. Oh no, it's fuck, I gave the wrong voice. Okay. How did I give Iris voice again? How are you two feeling, How are you feeling, Genie? Did you manage to sleep? Oh, Izuwaga, hi. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Wagi? Oh. Wagi. Great way to show your support, Kitty. Let them have a nose around. What harm you can do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Genie? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Oh. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was the weather report? Weather report. So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover at the train, and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yeah. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain forecast to subside this morning. So even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I couldn't give a monkey's really. Only all good news cancel out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. See? That's not good news. Just, how'd you like that? We'll let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't because you're covering your face. Oh, don't be sad, Genie. Don't worry, Runa will show Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will. And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged driver in dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno? Oh, yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It sounds like it's like she was still here. Today's paper has been entered into... Why? What? Why? The court records today? Why? Good luck, Bruno. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. Oh, it's a bazooka. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but... Thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Genie? Well, I was wondering, it's all about Sholmes? Did they fix him upright? Fix him upright? Yes, the operation was a great success, but Hurley still hasn't come around yet. No, he's faking it. We saw it the last time. We saw him the last stream at the very end. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. So Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Like, either good news or bad news. He'll send it over. Oh, right. No Susato-san. No Susato-san and no Sholmes. It's all down to me then. Prove that Gina is innocent of this crime.
Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Bruno. What happened to Wagahai? What happened to Wagi? Oh, Gina. Trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from the start to the finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that believe in me that believes in you, not the me that doesn't believe in you. Oh, Van Sykes is back!
Oh, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready.
Lord Van Sykes,
my lord.
Remind me, how many years was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service?
It was some 5 years ago, my lord.
Yes, and 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelon of society and government.
I lost my... I didn't breathe in as much. Really?
Yes, but yet, today, you chose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess, I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel.
There are two types of person I can't abide. Firstly, those worldly scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means Matt Gilded, who was defended against the Reaper 2 months ago? Yes, I just managed to work that out. Thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I've known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect totally betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. Oh, what? Did he just really just say that? He means you, Runo. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zyke's eyes. Was that directly solely at me? Was he talking about all Japanese people?
An alarming, scathering explanation, Lord Van Zykes. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London malefactors.
Your lordship is too kind.
Now, Juros, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial.
How is this? No, how is this fair? And he's a doctor. Well, no, the old man is a doctor. No, what the fuck? Okay, we have Mr. Goridep, the maid, someone we don't know, the old man from, I think, last trial, the woman, like the typer, the court recorder of last trial, and then a fucking Russian assassin, a Russian hitman. Why is he here?
Former lieutenant in the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready.
Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Ooh. Wow, everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything. And I'm ready for it.
I don't understand. I could have left it in there. It's not possible. But could have... I don't understand it. I could have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have?
Woman indispensable in society, stop. Female-centric future waits, stop.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Is something wrong, Runo? Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know. So I've been led to believe. But something tells me I'm being duped. It's all set up from the start.
Oh, very well, Lord Van Zykes. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the fact of the case.
As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what was that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord.
Indeed. The court accepts. Hand over them to the bailiff, please.
The autopsy report has been entered into the court records. The crime scene photograph has been entered into the court records. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was there in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only two people present. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet.
Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway?
She's one of those filthy dwellers that lives in the slum in the East End.
Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then.
What are the jurors waiting for?
We can't just jump to conclusions here. We must assume her guilt. Because of what she has to do to survive.
Throw it into the fire.
My lord Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses.
Good gracious!
After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pig-purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth.
The court will now take the 4 plans and firearm into evidence. Hand them over to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zykes.
At once, my lord. The crime scene floor plans has been entered into the court records. Windybank's revolver has been entered into the court records. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno. I think that's because it has. The battle starts now. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on 16th April of this year. He looks like a butt. Gregson! Witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court.
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is Betty. Professional Betty. I'm Ringo Skulkin. Occupation same as Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right. What they call
The trees. What the fuck? The three Skulkin brothers. What are you looking at me for like that for? Don't lump me in with you lot. Oh, God blame me. That's cold. Don't you know what we're going for?
it's our old bruv. Let's continue with him we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And last night we came across you. Very spitting of the old bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
Is Nash is the very spit of him.
So we decided to. Oh my god. So we've decided. So we decided that and what gonna do? We was gonna call you.
Big bruv Skulky.
Come on, leave it out, you two. Skulkin, and that's before he's run off chips.
Very well then, Inspector. Then, Inspector Skulkin Gregson.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but that's the name Tobias.
What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, of suspicion of theft.
Thieves, are they? These three?
Oh, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me within with this lot. 2 nights ago, these brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burglar. In the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime.
By Jove! You mean to say? What an extraordinary coincidence!
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor murder. He's standing on a fucking crate.
Order! Order!
The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I would like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand.
Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw.
Happy to. Cause a Skulkin never Skulkin. Get out of it!
Oh my god, I love that Gregson don't give a shit.
We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the guest door was ajar, you see. Yeah, it was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, God blimey, Lumpy, we've heard a gunshot from the back room. You might to see watch, but the door was locked from the inside. Oh, we've never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that nice and quiet.
I can't do their voices. It keeps like changing. They have no concrete voices.
A terrible conscience, it would seem. Coincidence, you see. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot.
The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the front shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found.
I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now. Of course, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel?
Yes. What's the matter, Bruno? Sorry, I was just stunned in silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by the pair in the stands. I know that is all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. I have to let me like take a swig. Not really swig, more like sip. Q press. I don't need to read that because I already read that. The front of Windy Banks was ajar, you see. What time of night was this?
Must been about 1, right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Skulky?
How would I know?
That place would have been shut out once in the morning, just like every other shops in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that, Ringo?
Oh, I'm not sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Skulky? Me old mucker.
Leave me alone.
There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And what about this gentleman's venture into the open establishment? The accused, Miss Gina Lashway, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. That is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the light of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside.
Right? What happened? What happened?
Oh no. Go back. What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in?
Well, God moves in mysterious ways.
Ways?
God moves in mysterious ways, they say. Don't it, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon.
God's will often present itself as the whims of thieves, doesn't it?
It wasn't no whim. I'm dead sure of it. It wasn't, Nash. It wasn't. Like we said at the time. Yeah. Don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah. There's no two ways about it. It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
They're not very good liars, are they?
Well, I can't deny it. It led us to a block what looks like a old bruv. I said, cut it out.
those ships are getting a chomping today. A gunshot, you say? Just the one? Are you sure about that?
Yep, just the one, Governor. Just the one, Governor. I can swear to that.
Eh, it was Nash. It was. Is that right, bruv?
Firearms used to belong to the victim himself.
Yes, Mr. Windybank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember.
When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Windybank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true. I remember him saying that as well.
So, we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
My lord, we can. Yes, my lord, we can.
And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hands of the accused. Wonderful.
So, we went.
Oh, no. Do you mean the door behind the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Yes, hello Arvin, welcome. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom. We are trying to finish it up today so we can move on to better things in life.
Cause there was only a little oil and burning, not much to see by. And the door was hidden behind the curtain and all.
That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by this curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open the door?
Eh?
Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot I should say.
Oh, well, your turn to Rabbit Ringo.
Oh, well, Nash. Yeah. I suppose you have to say we ain't normal, eh?
Broadly speaking, the human response is one of two ways of hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, corrupted by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. This gentleman of the latter inclination, my then Nipponese friend, it would seem it of the former. Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night.
Thank you, counsels. So, I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses.
Are you sure about that? You didn't do or take anything? Is that your story?
Well, it was bedlam soon as, wasn't it? Yes, it was, Nash.
No.
Yes, it was. Did I even have time to pull me dogs out my Lucy lockets?
So with no time to take your hands off your pockets, you just left. Nice and quietly, you say?
That's right, Governor. Nothing we ate more than violence, peace-loving neighbors. We are not bludgers. We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out me lady rockets.
So, You'd clearly like us to believe. Eh? Come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
Saints alive!
They fired a gun, you say?
We've been at.
Blimey, governor.
You are telling us it was you in the doorway.
Oh my god. They figured it out. It was?
Why the bleeding Nora?
Did you mention it?
You were armed with a gun, and you fled the scene. You fired that. And you fled the scene. You fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Holmes.
They shot the great Sherlock Holmes?
Right here, there were rumors have been rushed on.
The great Sherlock Holmes? They were upheld.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to inspect the firearm recently recovered from these brothers.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, Counsel. The court will now hold this weapon as evidence.
Wait, I want to see the gun. We have what? We have two guns. We have Windy Bank's gun, which is not loaded, right? Barrel and everything, okay. And we have the Skulkin brothers' gun, you know. Oh. Can we like pull down the hammer? So there's ammunition. So there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of these revolvers' 6 cylinders. Yes, which tells us that only a shot has been. Oh, wait. So there's like no. Windy Bank has 1. Sholmes had 1, and then through the calendar there's 1. So there should be 3 shots, doesn't it? Exactly. The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it? Yes, it happened almost as soon as we walked in through Windy Bank's door. I'll make those brothers pay. Even Gregson.
Huh?
Then shouldn't it be like... Okay, hold on. Now my blunt Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there! However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to prove evidence in support of these rash claims, We shall have no choice but to toast to your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windy Bank that night.
The court demands all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbrokery that night?
Blood samples? Oh yeah, blood samples, isn't it? The evidence is this portfolio. What? What on earth do you have there, Counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How ignorantly Nipponish of you. Well, anyways, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
And you claim you have the evidence in the court. The court is demanding that.
Yes, my lord.
No more dilly-dally then, Counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in that portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene?
What's this one, isn't it?
What is that? Explain.
It's a photographic print taken at Windy Bank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, is it?
Oh, did it go straight through? Was it a clean shot?
Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged in there.
Yes. As your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot has been fired sometime after the calendar has been set to the 16th.
That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun into the pawnbrokers that night.
No!
Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Sykes?
Delicious. Vintage. If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objections. What? But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, his brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing on the streets.
Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. Yeah, we had a deal. You are going to get into them details. Tell him, Skulky. Set the block straight. I have nothing to add.
So he knew, did he? Van Sykes knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crime. it would seem now that I owe my Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact.
What fact do you refer, Lord Van Zykes?
As I read from this sacred scroll of the Dragon Warrior, as has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot has been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, or we've been duped, then clearly these witnesses can be accused of fatally shooting of the proprietor and victim.
Ah!
In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. So that's it. Oh my god, they're missing so much.
That's it. We did nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Ash. We didn't. That's what I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget, attempted murder.
Quite a catalogue, eh, fellas? Eh. Oh, we're in it for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery. Eccentric? Says who? Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop. Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption.
As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photograph taken by the device on the night in question. There's a lot of photographs. Holy fuck. Wait. Did the feather just move? As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Sorry.
Rather prodigal, I feel.
Aye. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here.
You say these cameras produce a print every half an hour? I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals.
One can only pray that the world would be criminal lingers, my lord. Or bad luck, I would say. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. That's a bit of fair tucky, bro.
Lady Luck loves a Skulkin.
Witnesses, at what time did you that your trespassing begins?
Oh, my phone. My phone is dead.
Must have been just around 1, right, bruv? Must be dash. Must have been, just gone 1.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Good lord, what the fuck? Exact at 1?
It's the defendant, Miss Gina Lashwick.
That's a quinky dink, ain't it? As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. That's a very coincidental timing, eh? No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom.
Quite. One can only too easily imagine the evidence that unfolded. The court will now take this photographic print as evidence. If you please, counsel.
The photograph of Gina has been entered into the court records. Ugh. I don't believe it! Ginny? In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank.
Ah!
Who's that? I say, my lord. Is that Sholmes? Oh no, it's sure.
Wonder if I might put a 1 at this point.
Go ahead, Mr. Foreman.
Took a bally bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maywand. Of my wand. 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of a chap like us on the battlefield.
Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point?
Carried on the battle after retirement, you see, the battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron, 6 men, all good and true.
Nah, I would say only 5 of them are good and true, you know?
And we'll all go down together. You mark my words. One for all, and all for one.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury has reached agreement, have they? Is that what you are to that we are to understand?
Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
In a matter of speaking, yes. This is the Caritap's squadron's position, sir.
What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here.
Status report for the court, man, on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times. That goes for making decisions too. I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
Situation clear. Stop. All red room for out. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky.
Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leanings in this matter, and also consider verdicts to the court. Yuzai. 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 Oh no, we failed. Oh no, whatever should we do? Can we get can we get a proclamation exclamation? Proclamation somewhat examination? It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leanings already. Photograph. It must be the definite evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Gina didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assess its right to a summation examination. Oh, it's a summation examination or a proclamation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. So you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. I was ready for action, my chaps.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Watch it all be like the photograph.
All the evidence clearly points the fingers of the guilt at this young pickpocketeer.
As a household maid, I should like to see all filthy eyesore promptly and rigorously eliminated. Fuck. I think you'll find that if you look at this photograph in the stereo, the truth will just pop out.
I have to have left it in there. I should think there'll be repercussions by now.
Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to be followed. Stop.
In Motherland, we shall never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. In the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses.
Not to mention the sprint. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bally trigger.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear. Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I would think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. Which means there's more to this situation than we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination at once. Okay. You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Gorudep, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this.
Ah, you're the lawyer chap. You're the lawyer chap. Well, that's a turnout for these books. Yes, rather turbulent time we had back then.
Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously. I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leanings to not guilty or anything. That would be nice of you. That's all I'm just trying to say, you know.
Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Gorudep's household was the talk of the town after the business. Lodgers moved out, and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies.
Oh,
Haven't you had the heart to break the news to Joni yet? Bad enough that the old girl's clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot. Not for us. That's for dashed certain.
I suppose not.
Us. There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously.
Obviously, but honestly, I really wish you pay more attention to the trial and less to the juror number 2. He wants a maid, that's for sure. Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done, not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to the market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpursers and crossmen, the scum of the... Hey, don't judge them, man. What the fuck, man? You should be you're the one who should be in the targets of Van Zykes. You upper echelon bastards. The scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those black back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Sherlock Holmes? That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading ranched magazines in between my duties. He wonders, cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the cabinet. Is there fan art of Sholmes in a maid outfit? I want to see it. I want to see it. Mr. Sholmes, a maid. It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scums having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail. It was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scums as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyways. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statements. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective. Okay, okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. What do you mean? Look at that photograph in the stereo. In stereo. Sorry? What? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, looks as though the pickpocket girl's about to shoot the victim, obviously. But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. Wait, there's another one, doesn't it? It's a pair. Are you a fan of stereoscopes? Oh, how did you know? Do I do him as European then? Let's call it a lucky guess. Oh, never gets old, seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary. It's captivating. It's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes. I think you'll find that the stereoscope in here to stay, giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. You see, everything is stereoscopic 3D. Like everything, except for even like a picture. It's stereoscopic. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. I didn't know that he was a doctor though, surgeon. What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You kept talking about having left something somewhere or something like that.
Oh, so sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? That totally passed by me.
Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in this field.
So, what is it that you think you've left behind?
Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing. Went in through the abdomen. But then I finished the procedure. I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere.
What? Did he? Surely not.
Exactly. Surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? Of course not. I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter.
That's exactly my concern. And seeing as its case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly where I've sewn up everywhere else. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back in it should be, well, as sure as you could do without being sure.
I'm sure you need to be more sure. Wait, do you know about that one surgeon who did he did surgery so fast that the fatality rate, instead of being 100, it became 300, because in the process of doing the surgery, his surgery was so god awful and fast that he killed the patient and he injured two of his assistants, and they both got infections and died. Is that Is that Robert Liston? Is he in the stands right now? Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communications with the Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Ah! But now we have that electric telegraph, so we can send messages using electric signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid across the ocean bed, connecting the whole world. Thousands of miles of on the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I started to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airways to four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere. Electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolutions. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter pilfer. Don't stop me now. Together have a good time. Just give me a call. I can't really understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Do you have anything to add? Choto! Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt you when you're obviously filming, but...
What?
Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. You bet I do. Say that again. Go on, I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. Do you think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Absolutely. I mean, really. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth would you not just use your fucking eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional, dipshit. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon. I think you'll find the viewing of a photograph through a stereoscope could unlock all sorts of possibilities, man. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. Hi. Hello. Welcome to the stream. WPWQ. Can I just call you WP? Whoop. How do you pronounce that? Can you tell me how to pronounce that? But hello, hi. What are sorts of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene for example. If you have a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues, you know. You never even noticed before. What? Have you got any, Bruno? Any prints you could look at with a stereoscope? Do I have? Do you even have anything to look in stereoscope? Maybe this, but there's no way. None spring to mind. No, I don't think so. None spring to mind anyways. Well, if you find any, we should definitely try it. I don't think we're just going to find prints on the crime scene laying around, you know. But I suppose if we somehow find ourselves with some, it will be worth a go. this is the Russian revolutionary who killed the thing, the people. Wait, what was the history again? Please tell me you're not villain Bolshevik, the Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary.
I believe there is such a rumor.
It's just a rumor.
As you can see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like a vicious criminal.
Your words, not mine. Just wants to point that out.
People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat.
And which gloves fits? Oh my god.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts.
To be treated like a vicious criminal all the time. It is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look.
The Skulkin brothers?
Maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop. But they have done nothing wrong. That is all what I have to say.
The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright. Well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something. No, fuck. Tell me something, Iris. What is it, Runo? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, are they? Yes! It's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting amongst them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? I wish I knew! Okay. If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over. But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone. Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. All evidence. Okay. Oh wait. Pit against the Russian revolutionary. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord, counsel, explain yourself. Oh my statement, contradictory. Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick.
I do not have stick. I have mouse.
As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene of the crime that night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court that you didn't hear.
Abdomen. A, B, D.
Sir?
Sorry. My English is still learning.
You are telling the court you didn't hear?
Forgive me, I did not hear.
Oh,
Ah, here is word abdomen. Part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say it in plain English. I am a Russian, not native speaker.
who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again?
So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before, we never done nothing. But truth is, they shot detective. Duh, this is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right. Oh, poor rat, poor mouse. Don't squeeze.
Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by person who looks like a criminal.
Coming from you, that seems surprisingly juiced.
This means when they say we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so
Enough. I trust no one now. Not even my rat. My rat was my comrade since the fight of 87.
it's not the mouse's fault though, sir.
I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
I'm afraid. Yes, it is, Bruno. Easily. Sorry? With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Ah. If you were to compare the prints that pictures Gina and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor. Tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop. Is this one? Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the court and summariously heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight. What seems to be missing? So this was taken after Hurley was shot then? As far as I can tell. Nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in this second print. Except for the two people then.
So, the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot men, but they stole nothing.
It would seem so, yes.
Good.
No, not good.
You were right. I did not understand situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial.
Yay! Well done, Bruno. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we'll just need to turn the situation to our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Can we actually see? I wonder if we can make use of that. I wonder if we can use it as... Can we do it in stereoscopic? Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes, absolutely. How about this print here? I think should the trick. Yeah, this one. Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic print? Of course I can, bruv. Yeah, of course I can. Very well. Then I'll let you to demonstrate. I'll be delighted to, bruv. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all. Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question. Yeah, I can see that. Then, tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know if stereoscopic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images needs to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. And when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yeah man, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So what happens if you use 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? No, dude. Obviously that won't work at all. Not from seeing the scene 3-dimensionally, anyways. Thanks, Arvin. Oh! Of course! I now see! Now I see. I think the young girl has discovered the secret, man. I have! Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these 2 pictures from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Oh, the glass broke. Just so. Yeah. Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them? Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can see that straight away. But now, try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. Just to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I could make the quilt pen from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait. Well, no, I didn't. Ta-da! I happen to bring it with me, a portable stereoscope. I know I mentioned this yesterday, but if you had that contraption with you from the outset, you could have just saved me staring at Mr. Windybank and Gina like I hated them at that time. And if you remember, I said in reply... that it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effects with your own eyes. Anyways, why don't we try using this helpful little aid now? Here goes. What? Is the difference? No, let's see what we got. Wait, look at that. What's going on with these two pictures? Wait, what? Some of the things on the counter sort of jump out at you. Bro, stop doing that. Yes. That's it, you see. That's the other amazing powers of the stereoscope, man. Other amazing powers? That's powers?
Right. Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuces do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out as you like that?
I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principles of the stereoscope, your answer is your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope. As I said before, man, we try to look at the two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the position of certain objects that let you see the pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance, wait. What's the fucking difference? I can't see the difference. Even though at first glance it seems the objects of the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that exactly there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. Ooh.
Wait now. Hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master.
What, me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Runo, it's quite simple. It is. Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 AM. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the positions of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the first hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter.
Sukas!
Someone tampered?
New information stopped. Not mentioned in testimony so far. Stopped.
Yes. We've had to go around the circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this submission examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is now clear. We know the items on the countertop will move, but by who?
Are you suggesting you might know?
Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. He's just like a fatter version of his brother. It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. Wait, This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They say they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands and Lucy lockets is means pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so.
No, hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pickpurse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely.
And why exactly?
As you can see from this photographic print, the defender was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lashridge's interest lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. The accused is a pickpurse, common gutter trash. Why look any further than the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse, than a pickpurse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's countertop that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by those thieves?
Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair.
What the fuck? Did he just headbutt the table? Bro just headbutted the table to keep his hands clean. Disinfected, man. Yeah. Can you all see now? I think we're blind stereoscopes are playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand, bruv. That's half. Okay. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop.
Well, it would seem this trial is yet to run its course.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury has declared their inclination via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 leaning to guilty, 4 leaning to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. And I order this trial to continue.
Yay! Well done! Oh, by the way... What? You should hold on to this, Bruno. You'll never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But, alright. The stereoscope has been entered into the court records.
Lord Van Sykes, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them.
I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about the activities that night at least, and I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. A iron-hearted lawyer. Okay. That's the first one, eh? Delete. Hi KK, how are you? No, I'm not ending. Not yet anyways. I found my straw. Found my metal straw. You need happy? Okay. Good
Hello.
day to you, madam.
Hello. Thank you. I really needed this. Oh God.
Needed this.
Yeah. Um,
Say hi.
life's been hard.
Life has been hard for everyone.
Yeah. Assignments are hard. Like my assignments are getting harder, and it's obvious that it's harder. But if a teacher doesn't want to help you, it's like you know you're just swimming in your own
Self-study.
shit. Yeah. Yeah. My school is known is famous or infamous for encouraging self-studying. Continue.
Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand.
Aye, aye, Captain. Oh my God.
He looks like a bird.
Oh, it's that guy who loves potatoes.
He likes the
He looks,
chips.
he looks like Professor Plum.
Who's Professor
Like-
Plum?
You don't know Cluedo?
Oh, wait.
I presume you heard the defense counsel summation examination.
Oh yeah, Governor.
I did, Goff. I did.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Goff.
Blimey. This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windy Banks. Well, it was bedtime soon, wasn't it?
It was, Nash. It was. Did I even have time to pull me jokes out me lunch?
Is he Scottish?
Does he sound Scottish? I think.
Or Irish or Irish?
I don't know. I'm trying like British accents, but it's like taking me somewhere else. However, that was a lie.
At least we didn't do a Japanese accent for Ryonosuke.
No, even in the English like dubbing, he has a British accent.
You brought us.
You brought us.
You brought us.
Go. Blind me.
Me.
On the night in question, you rifled through the items of the victim's counter.
We've never done nothing of sorts. How you figure that out?
Okay, for context, right? I'm giving them like different voices each time I read their lines, cause I can't find.
I understand.
I keep on forgetting how they sound. You
You
know,
look like Santa.
he is
Judge
Santa.
Oh, Judge Santa.
You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happens on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth.
Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment.
Oh, he's hot. Oh, bro, that's a sign of dominance, bro.
And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. He's so plump.
Yeah.
Thought worth pondering, perhaps.
Say no more, Goff. We've ya. Yeah, we'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll peach.
Illegal entry, the whole truth.
Alright,
We did knock a few things over, but we ain't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, you see. Made us both jump and all the stuff went flying.
Lumpy didn't have given me a fright. We was thinking the shooters come out the door and get us next.
Yeah, we stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the back. Black.
We could have now shot the pawnbroker, you see. We never had a chance, did we?
Bro, his chin is longer than my forehead.
So you do admit to the defense accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windybank's countertop on the night in question.
Not ransack, Governor, no.
That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied it up. Yeah.
Sorry.
By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess.
The way you say it, we hardly sound like Bruvs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Gotta make them sound a bit more, cutthroat.
It can't just be coincidence that this man showed up at Mr. Windybank's that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place?
Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. Now said Ringo, me all China.
Oh, China.
China is a type of porcelain.
Well said, Ringo. Me all China. We've only landed ourselves in even more trouble.
And in fact, now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourself in even more trouble.
Apparently.
That's rotten luck. Says the rotten apple eater.
Oh.
He was eating an apple, so he had to say it.
No. No, I just searched cause I was like, why is he called Ringo and Nash? And I was like, is there like a connection or anything? Apparently, Ringo is the Japanese word for apple.
Oh.
Nash is
Pear.
short form for Nashi, which is short for pear. Which also explains how round.
Then what is sulky? Then what is sulky?
Skulking is a play on skulking, and may reference the skull-shaped pin and the skull on the back of.
I
Ringo
see.
was supposedly have an apple-shaped hat. That's stupid.
Not stupid in my sense. If
No,
it's
I think it'll look cute, but like this. they're
maybe an
thieves.
apple on like a like a patch, an apple patch or something. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied up the place.
You son of.
Sorry.
You know Cockney rhyming slang.
Cockney rhyming scam. Slang.
So what you're saying is, Sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter? It shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep it in shit on. Look, I was loud, alright? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up to that bang.
Apparently, China means mate, and the full original phrase was China plate, which rhymes with mate. Jesus. Nice. Okay,
Boom.
continue.
Big Bruv ears get like a blooming baby and fell over the counter. He knocked over a lot of books, a candlestick, and some skull, whatnot. They got tangled up in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame? What knocked over them scaps on the floor? You've really mastered working quietly then.
What a racket! Me granny would have come back scared and scared back into a grave at a clatter like that.
So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. Then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse and then all of a sudden, bang! Are you fucking sure about that? Gregson, are you okay? Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add?
Like I said, like I keep saying, I do not appreciate being lumped in with the scoundrels.
No, something to add about that testimony. I can't speak. You seem to react just like.
We
Huh?
can talk about maybe after this we can talk about the company snack because it's really interesting.
You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something?
It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it only. Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details.
How about you just tell us what's on your mind?
As you know, we brought these fellas in the yard from questioning last night, and the statements they gave them told a slightly different story to what they're saying now.
Did it?
You claim you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot.
So he reacts by eating the potatoes?
Yes.
Damn.
Might have, Golf, might have. Does ring a bell. Now you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a little sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas?
If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hetero proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishments to bear against them. Easy.
We'll get right into this time. That's it. Yup, it's all coming back to me now.
Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable mind, sir.
Right you are, Cuff.
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously?
We did, Cuff, we did. Well, although I suppose if you're being honest with a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun.
Yo!
Kind of thing.
Great play! Great play!
A career in acting tragically missed. Bro. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell?
Of course we could. From the other side of the door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voices you heard, it was that kind of the victim, Mr. Windybank?
On me granny's life. Cause it was.
On his granny's life, cause it was. So, that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windybank at the sound of his voice? So that would mean what?
What, Nash, what? Any ideas?
Yes, Counsel, indeed it would.
Nah. You didn't know the geezer. Oh, how am I supposed to deny it when the employee is all the fancy clobber giving us the evil eye?
What's the meaning of clobbers?
I think it's a police
No, clobber.
prosecutor.
No, I don't know about clobbers, but cobblers, on the other hand, it means balls.
What the fuck?
I know, right?
If you
Cobblers,
fail-
balls, because balls.
If you value your life, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
On me granny's life it is.
On his granny's life it must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
Yeah, makes it sound like we're clumsy.
Can we tidy it up after like a good tidy it up after like good little boys we are. Anyways, the way I see it.
Hi Ash, welcome back.
Hi Ash, welcome back.
You're saying that Mr. Windybank had a gun in his hands? Oh yeah? Bet that was a tight side A. Them two wavering them guns at each other must have gotten pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, the geezer say we don't want to get shot.
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'll readily put a bullet in someone's head if required.
Oh, that sounds like some Lin Manuel with a
If I can prove that I never broke the law. That being himself, of course. Good grief. Extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he suddenly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. I need the bongs and the pets, man. I need points for bongs and pets. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked him goose proper.
Bet he wish he'd squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me the gun!"
And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot? It was more or less the same time, Gov.
Give me that gun. Bam! Kind of thing.
Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed. Like how they're missing the fucking handshake.
Bro! What Cause they look so cute though.
Then we heard the noise of something hitting the deck.
That's Nash.
Before everything went dead quiet. After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place up.
So, you didn't try to open the storeroom door then?
Not on me life. It went deadly quiet after that. It did. Put the wind right
Up to me. But anyways, the door was locked, wasn't it? No way there was opening.
Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, and so we've been led to believe.
It was, Governor, it was. From the inside.
Right? So, we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps?
Don't ring it.
Don't ring any bells. Don't light. Don't no light.
We had to cut him right before we noticed anything like that.
We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day. Tell me why.
We really cut the mustard.
What the hell?
Please cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away.
That's against social distancing rules.
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh damn. Oh.
Gina was in there unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom?
That's right, Guff. That's right.
Couldn't even if we wanted to.
Why is it like taking so long with the cross-examination? Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Yeah, we was a bit hasty there.
We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
Can you imagine Dick Van Dyke? Oh.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Good advice, miss. Good advice. Truth be told,
Truth be told, my mind went totally blank.
Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your fucking hand.
I'm 10 years old.
Mental note, mates, miss.
After that, we licked it down the street, but barely we looked dodgy to the coppers or somewhat. So they clapped the derbies on us like winking.
And after you've been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Well, yeah.
Well, listen, that proves it, don't it? That proves it, done it? Eh?
And why should we believe that?
Alright. Well, cause it's true, innit?
The place was totally empty when we went in.
At the time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused, who had a gun to his head. To his head? No, to his heart maybe. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windybank. Correct?
Yeah, you got it, mister.
Down to the T. So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it. That's the full extent of this testimony.
What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce. Huh! I am Sailor Moon. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Oh, that's cute.
Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. It is nothing more than a feeling though. I've no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why, that's all. Ha!
I think you should trust your instincts and join Team Instincts on Pokemon Go.
Are you even on Team Instinct of Pokemon Go?
Yes, I am.
Interesting. I wish. Thank you.
No problem.
Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5.
Aw.
Oh wait, it's back to the beginning. Uh Maybe you can? Done. Yeah, you're true. It's true. It's true. We've been here for like what, 20, 30 minutes already? So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's right, Goff. You've got the picture? Yes, Nash. Yes. No questions. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description. What? Gordon Bennett? Bennett?
I think that's a Kongi slang.
Not my Bennett, not Benny boy. That ain't right. There could be no questions that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. But in whose hands? In Gina Lashrate's hand! Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that mold tooler used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing. Stay exactly where you are right there. Described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend. No, you intrigue me, my learned friend. But let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates that this inconsistency is the witness portrait of the victim's... Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness?
portrayal.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I know.
You want to give them that again?
Okay. According to their testimony, the witnesses claims to have heard a shout of "Give me the gun!" followed by a gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if I could ask the court to study the photograph of the victim's body again, you can clearly see that Mr. Windybank was in fact shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your statement, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. No! Go! But it's the God's honest truth.
It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand, and we saw it with our own blade. You say you didn't see it. Did I just hear you right now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun?
Ooh.
Fuck.
Something like that, but I've slipped out. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. we have
We
all
got
just,
him.
we all just, oh fuck. Get off my mic. Get off my mic, you scum. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victims wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brother must have encountered the victim in person. Okay, can I just ask?
Yes.
Is Ringo shorter than you?
Yes, I think.
Order! Order! Order!
No, you're not supposed to say like that. Order.
Order.
Witnesses, explain yourself at once!
Well, the thing is, it wasn't supposed to,
It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you.
Oof.
Am I to understand that you replaced the untruth of your original testimony with renewed lies?
Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, we Cut it out, Nash. Cut it out. If we blab now, you know what it'll do to us.
He? Who are we talking about? I think we know who it is. Agate Benedict. Let me make your positions here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other options available to you.
Bruv, come on. The game's up. But you have our guts for goddess.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Well,
Do we have to? Pretty please, I don't want to. On pain of death. I suggest you make yourself fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Hold on.
Yes?
No, nothing.
Nuts.
alright. So we just got in the cafe.
Heave a sigh of relief when the
geezer showed his mug.
Give me that gun.
He bellowed and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. For an old geezer, the blow was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. He pulled the gun on him and then he legged it for the door in the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
Oh no, so Gina did. So Gina actually killed him
Really?
by accident. So, you're now telling us that the moment before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop.
Well, yes. Sorry.
Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But, honest Guff, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well, counsel, for the defense. You may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for.
Song and dance. Blinding light.
Wow.
Okay. Now I'll be focusing.
Okay.
When you say geezer, I presume you meant the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windybank?
Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right.
Viewers keeping it.
We were keeping a close eye on the sentence to the gaff, obviously. We never thought no one was gonna come out the back room like that.
The back room being the pawnbroker's storeroom.
Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been.
So, it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Your turn, Iris.
Which means Ginny must have been in there in that point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windybank in the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the accused at the time?
What? That boat tooler? Couldn't tell ya.
No way, Cobber. With a bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the Ogiza just lost it. You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted these words in your previous testimony too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Hehe. Did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting these words at you, wasn't he?
Well, hehe. Yeah.
Was the victim Mr. Windybank wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blind lumpy, a great ugly barrel he had pointed straight at me frontispiece.
So, what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with the gun at the time, is that it?
It is, Gaff, it is. Spot on. Then all of a sudden, he came at us, she did. I was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who.
You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we had it. I mean,
Shit, I'm actually tired. What the fuck?
Lol. That means going to 12.
Yeah. Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too.
Well, yeah, of course we did.
You knocked over a lot of books, a candlestick, and some scholar one not.
I got tangled in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame? What knocked them scales on the floor?
So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter?
Well, Big Bruv here went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell ya. Then the old geezer pinned him.
He did, Nash, he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming pancakes in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brother fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Windybank. He did everything he could to protect his shop. I don't know why he's speaking like that now.
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank?
Nah, never. I was just, you know, looking out for me, bruv. Weren't I? You have been flattened, don't forget.
By a man whose shop was being burglared, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is it?
Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off that door and shut himself in.
There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. Iris, are you there, Iris?
Oh, I wonder why Mr. Windybank ran away into the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Jean was in there waiting for him with a gun.
Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windybank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of this.
Look, the point is, me and me brother here. That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me brother here.
So fourth is a bit sus. Say you had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all?
Nothing, Goff, nothing. The geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he?
Locked it was from the inside.
We knew it was, cause we tried to open it.
But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom, with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. Lestrade. Okay, Lestrade, whatever.
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windybank?
Yes!
There could have been.
It could have been. We have to We have to defend
Mr.
Gina
and
to the
Mrs.
end.
Skulk. Mr. and Mrs. Skulk. Fuck. Mr. and Mr. Skulk.
Jesus Christ.
I'm beginning to be like that one guy. Oh shit! This ice cream is creaming. I mean creaming. Creaming.
Creamy.
I need to like find that. Wait, is this one? Just hear this.
Okay.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you've encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point? What is your point, my little friend?
Oh, I want sushi.
The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Winterbank? And if the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. Gasp! Maybe I'll cut it short. I'll continue tomorrow or something. I can't,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises.
You gonna stop here or what?
No, not yet. At the next to be continued.
Okay.
The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of the two conundrums. Two, my lord. Twice as many chances to be right, maybe. Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord.
Are you alright, Bruno?
I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened. It would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the question posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, then indicate from where the victim could have fired the gun. From here.
Yeah. I think here too.
The defense believed that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? The
Would it be
victim
in
was
body?
the
Like
was around here.
Like there are yeah. Down. I think.
I think about
down?
here. It's not really that
Oh.
shitty, man. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windybank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earliest testimony, I put my gun on him and then he legged it in through from the door in the back room. Mr. Windybank ran away through the door. We have to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh! It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. As I read from the scroll, of the Dragon Warrior, moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man. Shopwork is running as fast as he could to safety.
Ah, of course! He would have been leaning forward as he was running away, so even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windybank.
I'm sure my learned friend couldn't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled in the door. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? But... What if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the door.
Who is it?
Is that so? Who else? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court.
Oh man, I'm just looking at videos of food now and I'm hungry.
Yeah, same. I'm actually hungry, but I haven't. I should have eaten before. But I digress. In the scenario just described, the defense assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, oh yeah, it's Agate Benedict.
Really, man?
No,
Oh, Gina.
the fuck. Obviously, yeah. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Lestrade. This is my stream. I'll do whatever I want.
Okay.
Cancel. That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I am inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel? He doesn't know. Yes, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Have big notions, I have no place in my courtroom. Counsel, remember that, please.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does?
Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windermere were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them that time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv! If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as the thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
But I ain't. I mean, we ain't the one who done it. We ain't wait. You've got to believe us. I mean, come on. We'll never shoot no one.
Yeah, you shot fucking Sherlock, man. That's blatantly untrue. I knew for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers have every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. But they ain't, are they?
I don't think they are. It's so stupid. I don't want to cook, so I'll be right back.
I'm gonna maybe it's gonna be finished soon also.
That was amazing, Bruno.
When is the next to be continued?
I think soon.
How will they say it?
It's gonna be a black screen and then to be continued.
Oh, okay. Still, based on the cheat sheet, still quite far.
Yeah, man.
Still quite far.
Oh, okay.
All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
I know. I know. First time ever and probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have to give a verdict of not.
An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing. You must find the situation amusing, Lord Van Sykes. I myself find the defense argument most persuasive. I dare say. Such chicken.
Hey, this ad's racist.
What was this? How do I say this?
Fresh chickenery is the bread and butter of the street.
Chickenery. Such chickenery is the bread and butter of the streets, of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malice.
I'll be right back.
Okay. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than an inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logical failings?
I say, Lord Van Sykes, might be an idea to explain this poorly conjuring trick or whatever it is to stop the troops on the ground, hmm?
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets?
Oh dear! He noticed that! What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. 2, sir. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed, the defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. Okay, the bullet which injured Mr. Holmes appeared to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Shot through the heart. Shot through the abdomen. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin's brother's revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it has, a single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, bruv. I think you're fine. If the single bullet was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it must mean... Windybank not shot by same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponish street performer presented an ostensible, credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Oh! What? Order! 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 Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Sykes! But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the docks is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence to the prosecution wishes to present. The disc.
I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded down to the yard. Thank you very much.
No, don't. Don't give it to him. It's mine. It's mine, Darius. It's mine.
I'm sorry, miss. Anything belonging to Mr. McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Yes, the music box disc. McGilded music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused of accounts of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact as its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament.
Lord Van Sykes,
Inspector Gregson? What? Yes, Inspector.
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service and, I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence.
What's this all about? Where's the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time you said anything to Van Sykes at all. I'm unaware of any such meetings.
But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted, thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, bailiff.
I need to know now. Because we have the blood samples, right? Can we test the blood samples of this guy? Oh, we need to like... Oh, I want to test this if possible. Actually, if you... Wait. Let's do the test, Bruno. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash! Whose blood is this? Green. Okay. It's Herlock's. No, it's not Herlock. Was it? Is it Herlock's blood? What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Okay, so green blood. Yeah. Sherlock, no? No. The prosecution has established the accused motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decision and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once. For all of 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. Oh dear. It wasn't even 5 minutes, Bruno. My lord.
Wonder if I might say something at this point.
Proceed, Mr. Foreman.
Been stumbling about it a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer barely obvious to me and my man. There's only one thing for this.
Oh no. Very well, the counsel won't hear the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
You say.
You say.
You say. You say.
You say.
You say.
Another loss for us. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Hey, that's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. How dare he uses it? How dare he use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. That's beyond any doubt. Welcome back, KK. I hear you.
Hi. I have noodles.
Very-
Carry me.
Very well.
You want ASMR?
No, please.
I'm gonna do ASMR for you guys, okay?
I will mute you.
Okay.
We'll proceed with the second summation examination on the day of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready?
Cadet Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very well. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
I like how this. Never mind. Go on.
I like how this is a fire hazard, but yeah, it's a fire hazard if
Fire hazard.
yeah, it's a fire hazard if one of the jurors like miss the skills like plates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will cause a fire.
Sorry.
Once again, a rogue's always a rogue, I must say.
Oh,
Different breeds to us law-abiding citizens.
Jura is a racist. He's a. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say that the whole case is done and dusted.
Yeah, you don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Yeah, every which way you look at it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief.
The accused attempted theft on the previous day. You can see I'm in for a busy day ahead.
I was
No, Russian. Do Russian.
I know. I was ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
It would seem there's little remaining room for doubt. Have to admit, I'm rather bold over the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when they fall apart like a house of cards, I say that I'll jolly well be hoodwinked. Well, no more.
Ah, the whole courtroom is turning against me.
It's not fair.
Iris?
That's prosecutors being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer.
Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually.
That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Yes, my lord. Okay. Oh, fuck.
Why is there me?
Just because Miss Lestrade has history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge?
I beg your pardon. Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world?
I'm gonna mute myself because I'm too
Okay. No, I simply illustrate my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or pickpocket is wrong and dangerous.
Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl has already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through, can't deny.
When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this?
Exactly. Trying to swipe that only a day earlier, Why am I mistaken?
Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. You know, I've never actually seen this real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. Mr. Schoenstein used his caramel bars to make a copy of this disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. We still don't know what the tune is, what tune it plays though, do we? But I would love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. McGilder's disc could be a clue somehow. Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Is the number of bullets that has you convinced? Only 2 bullets were fired, and 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes? Something after dining. Crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose. If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'll have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene? Could that be possible? It's impossible. Is it? How many? 1 through Windybank, 1 through the calendar. Maybe it's possible. At this point, no, it's not. It's impossible. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine the good man of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet? It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? So, if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures, a left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Yeah, exactly, bruv. Then you could see the scene in 3 dimensions, like this. So, if you had 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is the girl in the docks. How could you be so sure of that? Think about it, man. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes. That has been mentioned once or twice already. Well then, surely it comes into focus now, isn't it? It's a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. Okay. Maybe the bullet was... Will you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it was nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. I mean,
There's no question that this man was shot, but the bullet has simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, were you operating on?
What was the fellow's name again now? Hurlich? No. Hurlock? No. Hairlock?
Herlock Sholmes by any chance?
Yes. Good lord. It was that Hairlock fellow.
What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sherlock?
That's right. Using the very latest anesthetic techniques. I might add, it was a fairly major up, I could tell you.
This is crazy.
Let me see. The fellow was brought in no long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They say he's been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I have to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
I hate to state the obvious, but
Yes?
surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting?
The counsel for the defense is correct.
As it is clearly shown in this photographic print, the bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lost into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Huh? Who do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back?
Of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign of the bullet that has left the body at all.
What?
That's the point. That's the only logical conclusion. That has the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can someone please explain how it happened? Can someone please solve the mystery?
It's almost as much as a mystery as how this juror was put together. Jury. Mr. Shom's surgeon is on the jury. I've experienced some coincidences recently, but this is ridiculous.
I am surprised as anyone.
But there's no questions that Mr. Sholmes was shot.
Well, that's what the police told me when they brought him in.
How bad was his injuries, doctor?
He was in a bad way. He's lost a huge amount of blood, you know. And as I expected, he was shot at quite a close range too. Because his skin was badly burnt around the point of entry.
Burnt.
As I said, I flipped the fellow over and examined his back, but there was no sign of an exit wound. Which is why I thought I'd better locate the lug and pop it out.
And yet you say you found no bullet inside the patient?
Well, I wouldn't have done, would I? Because it's in the wall of the pawnbrokers. But how did it get there? I need someone to solve this mystery before it drives me to insanity. If only there was some expert in ballistics who could help me, even if he looks extremely untrustworthy.
Wait, I know who. What do you mean you're in for a busy day? Forget to say stop. To excuse me, stop. I am communication officer, stop. A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse codes and tapped it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea, stop. Worldwide communication network, stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of the globe, stop. Yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves or the likes before, wasn't she? I specialize in communications information from government departments of newspaper officers. I see. I'm sure I shall have to write the newspaper report of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? I thought you were just a tourist.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
There's no way he's just visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistics expert. Who knew?
I have much experience with guns. I have lived through many, how do I say, extreme, violent baths of, blood of,
extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps?
Those extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue.
Considering the sort of people who you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue.
Anyways, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know. No mystery I can solve.
He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure.
But, if possible, please, only in Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he? No. Still, we should bear in mind, he's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. Van Sykes has managed to convince everyone. When you have to eliminate the impossible, he said. But he hasn't. Okay, you're back.
Hi back, I'm KK.
Oh fuck, man. If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. I don't know who. Oh fuck. Wrong.
Oh, Professor Plum. That sounded weird. I'm so sorry. Oh, Don's playing Valorant. Cool.
Has he been playing anything else?
Well, he has to start somewhere.
Again, start somewhere again. Pit. Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. I love him. Oh my god.
Oh, a ballistics expert?
Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers.
Well,
But
this
since-
animation is good.
But since there was no sign of an accident wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore,
EKI!
a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleasure to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Golly! The snow was piling high on both sides of road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very...
Man. Why are you stroking the mouse like that?
Who can play that game, Ash?
Huh? Oh. You guys.
It's his pet mouse. Wait, you didn't hear it?
What?
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh,
Oh, you suck.
I think it played. Oh no, oh, what the fuck? Okay. They could not find bullet in my body. Oh. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, where did you fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks like bullet wound. Good gracious! Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. But that doesn't answer the question at all. Hmm? The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not look at exactly the same scenario here. Bruno.
Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
What
That's-
exactly was Hurley shot again? Shot again? Where exactly was Hurley
well,
shot again?
according to the report, in his stomach, sort of around this area, I think, like here, he's like pointing like.
The belly button, you know.
Ryunosuke is just.
Can you imagine someone shooting a bullet, and you're so fat to a point where the bullet right goes in your belly button, and then you just flick it out.
What is this? Like Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah, like Jack Black.
What the fuck? Thought the disappearing
Have
bullets
you
is made of blood of the
Have you
same
seen
person.
Gulliver's
who got-
Travels?
Yes.
Yeah, have you seen the part where he was like
Dude, getting
attacking-
hit by a BB sucks, man.
He got hit by everything and it just boom. You know, so funny.
Thank you.
Who's that?
Iris. Iris, are you there?
Oh, sorry. I was looking.
Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt.
A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch. Yes, a pouch.
Oh fuck, dangerous chemicals.
It's where he keeps these 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in investigations.
What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived in the hospital, as far as I remember.
If I may. Lord of Anxieties? While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound.
Ah, thank goodness! I thought I was forgetful.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it hasn't been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed.
Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch!
I see. Damn! It's the blue liquid. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? One of the... Is it files or vials?
Vials.
Vials. One of
Vials.
one of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
And it was the glass vial exploding that caused the fellow's injury.
This bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. A delightfully complex aroma.
Very well. It would appear one mystery has been solved at least.
Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remains unaltered.
But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Ah, thank you very much. Glad I can be of help.
Bruh.
Due to its bearings of the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence.
These pouches and scruffy.
Sholmes' scruffy pouch has been entered into the court records.
If I'm not wrong,
Now, the summation examination, please. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinions. Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, there's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around, somehow. I'm sure of it. Wait, I'm gonna look at the... Gonna examine. What the fuck?
maybe you can blood it? Like shoot the blood sample?
It's really scorched badly here.
expression. Look,
This must be where the bullet hit then.
let me see.
Spray. it.
Hey, it's the bullet!
There's the
It's the bullet!
There's a bullet.
Oh my god! What? What the? Iris! Look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it?
That's Skulkin's brother's bullet.
What a stroke of luck that it hits his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windy Banks that night.
We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The third fucking.
It's time to press that juror again, I think. That bullet has been entered into the court records. We found a bullet. Bullet!
No, not wait. Which one? Oh, this one.
Skip everything. Oh my god. We did it, we did it, we did it, we did it. Allow me to show you then the third bullet. So smug,
Look at
man.
that face.
So smug. Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windy Bank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. What is this new trickery, you Nipponish conjurer?
Shut the fuck up.
Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Shom's pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Shom's waist before he was taken to the hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit his pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. You already know the whereabouts of the bullets fired at Mr. Shom's, the magic bullet. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Oh. 2 guns from the scene has already been submitted in the court records as evidence. Yes. That and Mr. Yes, that of Mr. Windybank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns reveals that only a single bullet has been fired from each. So there's a third gun. Yeah, but that means... That's right.
That's right, people.
We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somewhat explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Jojo pose. Ora! While this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundation upon which this case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stands at once. Witnesses? Governor. Were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with this tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make... Is it one of yours?
Oh, blimey, Governor, oh, blimey, not a chance.
That's rubbish. One of them is theirs.
No. There's another
Oh,
person
yeah,
at the scene.
They have. Yeah, there is. Because they say something about it, right?
Don't tell me. I want to know.
No. No, I was because they said it. What like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
they did. Yeah, they said he.
In that case, did you have an accomplice?
What? What? Never. The Skulkin brothers work alone.
That's utter rubbish.
It's just the two of us. It's our trademark.
How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only two of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it?
Allow me. That's an it scratcher.
Counsel for the defense. Yes? I would like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearms from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. They had a secret accomplice.
That's right.
On that night at Windy Bank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a third man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice. But the evidence all points to the fact that that someone else was present, someone carrying a gun. Oh my god. An accomplice, you say? Higgs will. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man, if this is apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answer of 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know of that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel, supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is...
Ready.
Are we actually ready?
Yeah.
Let me try to do this.
Yeah.
The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder at the scene of the crime?
Oh, the blood?
Wait, let me try. Yeah, maybe the blood. The evidence is right here in this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it?
Oh god. Wait.
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. There's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Did we kill Shrek? Green blood. Curiously even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman? Is the court to understand that the intruder was definitely Shrek? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, by the great detective, yeah?
New
Yeah.
invention, stop. Not yet appear in stories, stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. Its focus sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by saying that what color it changed to, you can tell in the flash whose blood it is.
Ooh, that brings a whole extra dimensions to looking at blood, man.
Book of blood in clerkroom, stop. Very exciting, stop.
What's she doing?
She is telegraphing to the newspaper.
Oh.
As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank. Ah, a striking blue. Yes, so you see, the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that Shrek was shot in the main part of the shop.
Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incidents, couldn't it?
No, it's not unrelated. The date shows on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windybank was killed.
By golly.
Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
Then, whose blood is it?
Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand doesn't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries,
Who is?
which means it must be the blood of someone else, the third intruder in fact. Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? Okay. Maybe it was Susato, but she was okay. Herlock was definitely shot, but the bullet was in his pouch. Iris is with us and looks like she isn't suffering from any injuries.
He's
Windy
dead.
Bang is dead. Gina was in the room and looks pretty okay. This bitch, nah. I don't know. Maybe he was shot. He's not in the courtroom yet. Gregson, he's good enough to be eating his fish and chips, you know. Lock Strongheart would be a prime suspect, you know,
Why?
because you know he may be working with the criminals, you know, the underground cooperation. Baron Van Zykes is in front of us and looks like he wasn't shot. Not in the head, maybe, but maybe somewhere else. Yeah, and those two are fine. So it falls to Mael Strongheart and Egg Benedict. But I'll go with the leather, you know, because we need to see Agate Benedict, you know? The man's name is Agate Benedict. Agate Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Counsel? He paid a visit to Windybank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article in her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Agate Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Oh yeah, he did cut himself. Broke her.
Yes, sir, yes. Oh, such a hot day today. Oh, I'm sweating like a prostitute in church.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I wanted to use that line.
For so long.
Not really so long, but I wanted to use that line.
I see.
I believe this filthy pocket thief just redeemed an article from you know.
Yes.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on.
Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel,
and needless to say, wastrel.
Jojo pose, and music boxes this too.
You mean?
Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windybank for a print showing the fellow. Taken from one of his right-handed recorder cabinets.
Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windybank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin?
Never seen the geezer before in my life.
On me life, governor! On me life! Never seen him!
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with this assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can.
Oh,
Then show us the evidence then.
I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is.
Didn't he cut himself?
Huh?
Yeah, he did cut himself on the thing. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start, but now I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom. Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel? Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Prove that the man pictured in this photographic print was by the third bullet.
Hold on, let me see.
It was the music box. It was the music disc. He cut himself on the disc when we first met him, and his blood is green, and I just remembered that that he cut himself, so the blood should be his, and the blood on the calendar is green, so we got to know now. The defendant attempted deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaiming this disc from Windybank. This is when the aforementioned Agate Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's right, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred.
Oh, yeah. But of course, sir. Here is the disc for you.
Very well. Jojo pose. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute. That disc. It's mine.
Ah, Jojo pose. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, as the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom.
Using my trusty fog again.
Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say,
It's green. Exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar.
wait, juror number 5 is who? Oh yeah, it's the woman. It's the woman.
Tough lady.
The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Agate Benedict, who was in Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets.
Oi, what are you talking
What are
about?
you talking about? It's
Spoiling.
boiling here.
My lord, it is my opinion of the defense that Mr. Agate Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It will clearly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence. Stop! Just let me. This has gone on long enough. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories from the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest courtroom in this land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Ah, well. Hey!
Hey,
And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes I mean, he's a great detective. What about you talking about? We can let him. I knew it would come down to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have?
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said to me
Father Christmas.
about how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination.
Ah,
In other words, examination isn't over yet, isn't it? Is it?
good grief. What did you just say, young girl?
In the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it?
Oops, Van Zykes, you just got played.
So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite a devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right, what you say, or did I misunderstand something?
Joke.
Jojo.
Golden win. Is that about what? No.
Bruno.
Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with.
Iris Wilson, sharpshooter.
After that shrewd precise of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leaning in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
無罪
無罪
無罪有罪
有罪
無罪
That's 4, right? Yeah, that's 4. The trial can go on. 2 calls guilty and 4 calls not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination. My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. Oh, you don't say! I'm sorry, Lord Van Sykes, but the outcome of this summation examination cannot be ignored. The trial will continue. My heart. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? Because he's dead. The name the gentleman gave for himself, Agent Benedict, is quite clearly false. I don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove that the man was dead that night. Could I say something? Who's that, please? Who speaks? Oh,
It was me, my lord.
juror number 5. What have you say, madam?
If possible, Inspector.
Me, madam.
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown.
Right, yes. This one, you mean? Of Mr. Benedict.
That's my son. No. Yes. There's no doubt in my mind.
Juror number 5? You don't mean to say you know this man?
Yes, I know him.
What? No. Good gracious! Order! Order! Juror number 5, how on earth?
I'm a communications officer. Stop.
As we can clearly see,
The gentleman in the photograph is. Stop. It's also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop.
ooh,
Very talented operator, in fact.
he's a
Stop.
spy.
He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop.
This doesn't seem right somehow. can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right.
I suppose we all imagined that the accomplice. Oh, sorry. I suppose we all imagined that the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night.
Yes, I suppose that is. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Sykes, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will now recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson?
Yes, my lord.
I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Sorry.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. To be continued. Come on.
Yes, I can sleep. I can rest. My vocal cords are dying.
Oh my god! Goodness gracious. Say we can't run progress. The adventure of the unspeakable story. 2.